What's up, people of YouTube? Nick Banks again for all things PlayStation 4. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Now, today I want to be talking a little bit about my little hypothesis of the future of gaming and how things look like they're leaning towards one platform and just a digitalization of everything, if that is even a word. So a couple of days ago I posted an article on my website which was all about a potential one-platform gaming future, and you can check out the link for that in the description below. However, I thought I haven't posted anything on YouTube for a while. This whole business of a one-platform gaming future is a pretty juicy idea to talk about, so I thought, hey, I might as well share it with my YouTube audience as well. Now, if there was a one-platform reality inside of which we could play video games, there would be some pros to that, but there would also be some big cons, which of course you're welcome to check out. That's exactly what the article was all about. Check that out by clicking the link in the description below. But after I wrote the article, it really got me thinking even more. In hindsight, I could have written so much more on that article, but I'm going to talk about it right here. And what I started thinking about was Andrew House with his PS4 Pro and Microsoft with the Xbox Scorpio. These mid-generation console upgrades, everyone knows they're totally unconventional, but the reason they're happening, the core reason that the console industry feels pressured to come up with a new product at this stage, is because unlike the 360 and the PS3, when our current generation consoles came out, they just weren't up to par hardware-wise. The 360 and the PS3, they were comparable to mid to high range gaming PCs, and it's not quite such a success story for the current console generation. So the problem that we have here is that the console big boys, Sony and Microsoft, and possibly even Nintendo, depending on how the NX performs, are playing catch up, when before they didn't have to. So now we're considering this reality where perhaps one day the console industry will implode, and buying a piece of hardware that sits in your living room to play video games on, labeled as a console, is no longer a thing. Could well possibly happen. And what would we be left with then? Of course, the PC architecture and the PC industry. When it comes to the big gaming companies trying to survive in that kind of environment, things would likely go fully digital, as I mentioned at the start of this video. This is what brings us up to our potential fully digital future. Now, what makes me say this? Well, just think about the PC gamers and how they buy their games right now. More often than not, it's Steam. And if you see hard copies of games on the shelves for PC, then they're probably from about 5, 6, 7, maybe even more than that years ago, before Steam really got the ball rolling. Sony and Microsoft would actually probably quite fancy the idea of going fully digital. Their online marketplaces on their consoles right now happen to be doing very well for themselves, and the big plus for them as a business is that when you're buying from an online marketplace, obviously you don't have a hard copy, you can't trade in pre-owned games, you can't buy pre-owned games, so everything that you buy on the online marketplace will be the price that is determined by the developer or Sony or Microsoft themselves, which stands to make them a lot more money. Sadly, those days are gone where video game creators create games with the gamer in mind. No, it's all about money now, and you don't need me to tell you that. After that, it would just be a case of Sony and Microsoft and any other console creator of the time to come up with a deal with whoever is owning this one platform, that being probably the PC market, or come up with a deal with Steam or something like that, to continue making their games and continue profiting from the gaming industry. And that pretty much wraps up my one platform theory for the future of gaming. Is it pretty scary? Is it pretty enticing? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And just before I go, I want to tell you guys about this dude that I found on YouTube who, in his garage, so it seems, has created something called the Playbox. Don't know if you guys are aware of it, but it's basically a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One all rolled into one. You've got a disk drive for the PS4 on one side, for the Xbox One on the other side, and it basically looks like a fairly chunky laptop. Apparently it's portable too, so it looks like a really cool piece of kit. Don't know how much he's charging for it, but it's probably quite a lot of money. So what do you think? of all this? What do you think of, well, what do you think of the Playbox? For starters, it's a pretty cool piece of kit. You can check out the link to the Playbox in the description below, but aside from that, everything else, the death of pre-owned games, something they've already tried to do this generation and didn't quite get away with it. Will they get away with it on the next generation once we've had the Pro and the Scorpio? Chime in with your 2 cents in the comments below. For now, this is Nick Banks signing off for all things PlayStation 4. Peace out, guys.